probably got a little bit of a change of pace at this stage, as I'm not going to be presenting any frameworks or theoretical things. I'm basically going to be talking about Vinidex, what our journey has been, what we do with our products, and what's important for us in terms of business from a sustainability performance point of view, and where we see our future. So I'm not sure how many people are familiar with the company, but we are a major supplier to building infrastructure industries. We make pipe. We make about 55,000 kilometres of pipe a year, and that's sort of like 1.2 times around the Earth. We make about 20 million fittings a year. We've been manufacturing in Western Sydney since 1964, or if you include Auburn, since 1960. So we've been around in this area for a very long time. Smithfield was our first factory. We've now got 11 factories around the countryside. And the reason for having many factories around the countryside is it is much more effective to transport the raw materials to the factory, make the product at the factory, and then distribute locally. Right? So from simply a cost and efficiency point of view, that's the way it works. Now, what do we make? We make plastic pipes, basically. We make plastic pipes using PVC, polyethylene, and polypropylene. They're the three primary materials that we use. Over the coming years, we're going to be introducing a whole bunch more materials. Why is that? Because products are moving away from a one-size-fits-all to products that are specific for purposes, right? Whether it's a particular application or particular material characteristics, that's where they're going. There's going to be more products, different characteristics, and more specialised. But we manufacture those products. We sell about 30% more different products than what we actually make, because we sell systems of pipes. We deliver to building, infrastructure, irrigation, and mining. They're the major sectors that we've defined our business in, and we sell products that cover all those different applications. So it's quite a broad-based business in terms of application. Now, we make plastic pipes. When you talk to people about plastics, what do they think of immediately? They think generally about packaging. When you go into a shop, you pick something up, and it's something that's designed to last until you get the product home and unpack it. Right? Now, our product is completely different. Our product is a product that is expected to not have to be replaced, if I can put it that way. When a water authority or an infrastructure company buys a pipe, buries it in the ground to deliver water or to take waste away or sewage away, they don't want to come back and replace it. When you build a house or you buy a house, do you have in your mind that you're going to have to replace the plumbing system? It's the last thing you want to do. Right? The product is a product that has to last for a long time. And our products generally get rated for in excess of 100-year life. Okay? So we're not talking about plastics that are in the traditional sense that people think about, where you end up with plastic bags in oceans that get swallowed by birds. We're not talking about that sort of product. We're talking about a product that is designed to last a really long time. So that's where it's very different. And it's very different in terms of design and expectations from our product. And so we had some things up there before about recycling. And people look at pipes and say, recycling rates are really low. Yeah. We've been making the product for how long in Sydney? Like 50-something years. How long is the product supposed to last? Like more than 100 years. Do you expect a lot of product to come back? No, if product's coming back, it's not a good idea. So we have very low rates. Does that mean we can't recycle? No, we do recycle, and we can recycle, and it's actually very easy to recycle, and we actually take product back and we make prime product with the product that we take back, so we don't degrade it. Okay? It's back to cradle stuff. So from an environmental point of view, what are the things that we've been thinking about, and what has put what I believe has put Vinidex in a very good situation with respect to delivering good environmental sustainability outcomes. What's done it is that we've been early adopters. We've been up front, we've been at the beginning of a lot of programs, and we've influenced those programs as we've gone through. Now, why is that? Because we're really good citizens of the world and we want to save the planet? You know what? We all want to do that. My kids are like really onto me about that sort of thing, right? So younger generations are placing more and more importance and they're more and more aware. But the reality is that actually make good business sense. What does sustainability mean? It means that you're going to stay in business in the long term. What do you have to do? Not waste stuff. Not waste resources and materials. You need to use those materials in the most effective way. If that's what you're doing, then you're going to actually have a good business. Not wasting is a really good business idea. So you can put it into the context of, yes, it's good environmental performance, is sustainable, and they're good labels to apply to it now, but it's also just really good business. Don't waste stuff, don't waste resources, use the optimum solution. So we've done a lot of things. We've been founding members of the Green Building Council, been founding members of the PVC Product Stewardship Program. I was the original chairman of that program. We've led Australia and the world in terms of developing material efficient products. We've got our technologies, Vinidex technologies, being used internationally to produce product with minimum amount of plastic material for those particular product applications. We're recycling product. We were upfront with best environmental practice PVC. Robin and I met in the early stages of developing what turned out to be the best environmental practice program. In the days, whereas a plastics producer, we were suspicious of the greenies, and I'm sure that they were pretty suspicious about us, but over time, what happened is a considered and appropriate scientific approach, understanding the issues, led to best environmental practice PVC, which has actually changed, starting from Australia, has changed the way PVC is manufactured internationally and has put a lot of pressure on international chemical companies to change the way they do things into a methodology that is much better for the environment. A couple of examples: removal of lead, not using mercury-based technologies to produce chlorine. So there's a whole bunch of upstream benefits that have resulted from things that were started here. ISCA, we're involved in the Infrastructure Sustainability Council, and most recently in EPDs. We're one of the first companies in our industry to introduce EPDs. And we've done that a little bit differently. In Europe, if you look at those EPDs, they're industry-based EPDs. So that the PVC industry has an EPD. How meaningful is that? We didn't think it was that meaningful. So we've introduced by company and by product range an EPD so that you have a much better definition of the environmental performance and a statement about the products that we manufacture. What else have we done? I think that there are a few really important things from a business point of view. Material efficient, and I've mentioned that. Some of the products that we have is recycled and foamed PVC. You probably wouldn't know that it even exists, but it's a technology that allows over 20% reduction in the amount of PVC material that's used for that particular range of products. PVCO pressure pipe. That pipe product is world leading. And if you can imagine, if I can just give you a couple of examples, that product used to be produced using a certain quantity of material, kilograms of material per length of pipe. Using this technology, we've reduced that by half. Right? So you use half the material to produce a product which has the same performance. What does that mean? We've got a little graph up there that depicts embodied energy. This is a product which was very popular 15, 20 years ago. That's the level of embodied energy, it's ductile iron pipe. This is the embodied energy in PVCO. So the energy that goes into the product is vastly different. Big impact. Which material is better? I'll just make one point. Now, people discuss, for example, PVC or polyethylene. Okay? Now, if you take the PVCO product, so for the same pipe of the same diameter, for the same pressure rating, PVCO uses 1/6 of the oil and gas that it takes to make the equivalent polyethylene pipe. Right? 1/6. That's a huge number. Right? So why do people use polyethylene pipes? Because polyethylene pipes have other advantages in other applications. For example, trenchless construction. Yes, you do spend more on the material, but what happens? You don't have to dig up a trench to lay the product. You can directionally drill, drag the product through, and that saves energy and is more economical. So what does that bring me to? It brings me to design. A large part of delivering the best performing product is to consider which product you select to start with. Material, how you design that product, what are the characteristics? And that's where we're going to in having more different products that are designed for particular applications. Installation. There are many examples of reducing installation costs. For us, the experience has been work really closely with your customer. Right? One of the examples I just stated is trenchless construction. Another example is we're about to introduce the world's largest coiled polyethylene pipe product delivery system. So what that means is that you don't have to join the product. It means that you can have a big reel, unwind the product, drag it into the ground, and the job's done. So no jointing, and this is particularly for mining industry applications, but the cost savings are huge, right? Because you save energy, you save time, and these are all important factors as well. So what's changing? I just want to keep things simple. Okay, there are a few things that I see are changing. One is the credibility of environmental claims, and that is really important. If you make an environmental claim, a claim about performance, it has to be believed. And to be believed, it has to be true. Right? We've come from a place where many people make many claims. Which ones are true? Those assessing it, it's not so easy. Okay, you need a framework, you need structures. This is where things like Green Star, ISCA, all these things, EPDs, they're a really good idea because they add credibility and they're verified and you can have a level of confidence. So that's really important, I think, in terms of making decisions. A structured approach towards product and material selection. Again, those things provide that sort of structured approach. I think that's very important for the future. Understanding environmental performance, looking beyond those items, and what I said before, thinking about things early and worrying about design and the particular different product types that it may use or the technology that it may use can have a very big impact on the environmental performance of a project. Sustainability, an important factor in product selection and procurement decisions. I felt really pleased before when I heard that John Holland were 70% commercial and going to be 30% on other value items. That's really good, I think. One of the things that you've got to keep in mind, though, is that we see many projects where the specification's right, the intention's right, but when it actually comes to the person or the organisation right down the bottom of the line that actually buys the product, it may not be John Holland, it may be a contractor of a contractor of a contractor. Do they actually follow the specification? Right? And there's a gap there that we see very frequently. We put in all the stuff, we've got all the information. At the end of the day, it wasn't 70% commercial, it was 100% commercial, and not only was it not 100%, not only was it 100% commercial, but they didn't actually follow the specification. So that's, I think, a challenge in each of those areas.